The rumours and leaks were all true. Resident Evil 3 is indeed receiving a modern remake, in the same vein as Resident Evil 2 earlier in 2019. The brand new Resident Evil 3 remake is set to release on April 3rd, 2020, and I am one fan who just cannot wait. So what exactly did we find out from the trailer? As you would expect, the game takes place in the infamous Raccoon City as Jill and Carlos attempt to escape before the place is nuked harder than Nuketown itself. The graphics look just as polished and detailed as the Resi 2 remake, so we should expect a game of similar quality. What slightly put me off at the beginning of the trailer was the use of the first person camera. Don't get me wrong, I love Resident Evil 7, I even love Outlast, but I would prefer a third-person perspective in my Resident Evil games, especially for a remake of a beloved classic. The Resident Evil 2 remake was released after Resi 7, and for me it was the better game, not just for the camera perspective. There are some other moments where the first-person camera is used, but we do also get to see some third-person gameplay, which alleviated my fears to an extent. The opening chase scene was entirely in first person, but this could have been for a number of reasons. For one, Jill was purposefully hidden until she made her grand reveal shortly after she escaped what looked like Nemesis from the burning building. A second reason could be that it was simply a cutscene made exclusively for the purpose of the trailer, or an on-rails section of the game. Perhaps there are multiple chase scenes which automatically switch the camera to first person to give you a better view of what's ahead before swiftly returning to third person to continue the action sequence. It could also be possible that the game allows you to manually switch between both perspectives at will. We saw this in a recent update for The Evil Within 2, so why not here? But assuming we can't manually switch, am I alone in this fear that the first person camera is unnecessary? Let us know in the comments about your own opinion on the camera perspective. One thing that a lot of people will be wondering about is just how is it possible to release a full-blown remake of Resident Evil 2 shortly after the second game released 1 year prior. What we do know is that a second team were responsible for this remake, but just how long were they actually working on it? After the incredible success of the Resi 2 remake, fans were desperate for another remake, with 3 the obvious candidate. Capcom confirmed that they were interested in remaking the game, but no one knew that they had already started. Quite sly, Capcom, but I can appreciate the deception. Both games must have been in development at roughly the same time to create one universal experience. Perhaps that is why news on the Resi 2 remake died out for a large period of time to compensate for the development of Resi 3. As for playable characters, you could also play as Carlos in the original game briefly, but what I'm curious about is if they give Carlos his own complete campaign. Sure, he's not a character who lives fondly in the memory of most fans, but extending the replayability of the game by offering a whole new campaign can only be a good thing. Another thing I'm curious about is if the option to fight Nemesis still remains. In the original game, you chose to stay and face him at your peril, with a reward each time for temporarily defeating him. I hope we still have that fear and vulnerability we once had all the way back in the 90s. I played the Resi 2 remake on hardcore for each character on my first playthroughs. It helped to create that old school tension, which didn't exist in the normal difficulty. If Nemesis is to represent a true threat, as Mr. X was in the previous remake, then hardcore would be the way to go. As soon as we discover new details surrounding the game, or any answers to the questions we posed, we will be sure to update you in another video. That's all for today's gaming video. Are you blown away by the Resident Evil 3 remake trailer and announcement? Let us know down in the comments below. We would greatly appreciate a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, as we bring you more gaming topics including Resident Evil, full coverage of PS4 creation game Dreams, plus an assortment of original animations. Click to view a collection of our current animations or watch one of our latest videos. You can also subscribe by clicking on our red imp. See you in the next gaming video.